contract to deliver mail to and from North America. Plans to build the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth began in 1926. These were to be two of the biggest and the fastest passenger liners ever built. Construction began on job number 534 in December of 1930 at John Brown Shipyard in Clydebank, Scotland. But work on the ship stopped 1 year later because of the Great Depression. Eventually, the British government decided to give Cunard a loan to finish the ship. If they agreed to merge with their rival, the British Passenger Ship Company, the White Star Line. Is anyone familiar with the White Star Line? Yeah. And what did they do? Titanic. They built the Titanic. Someone said they sunk the Titanic. They built the Titanic, a ship that was not supposed to sink, but it did. Finally, in September of 1934, the Queen Mary was named and launched. Many people assume that a ship is launched on its maiden voyage, but actually, a ship is launched even before the engines or the superstructure, which is the upper deck, is added. Until her launch, the Queen Mary was only known as job number 534. The Queen Mary began her maiden voyage on May 27, 1936. She continued her transatlantic crossings until World War II. The ship was detained in New York. In 1940, the Queen Mary was actually drafted into service as a troop carrier. And after being refurbished to her original peacetime elegance, she once again resumed passenger service until 1967, when in the early 1960s, all transatlantic lines began to realize a loss of revenue. This was due to a loss of passengers because jet air travel had become the primary mode of international transportation. In May of 1967, Cunard announced the Queen Mary was for sale, and the city of Long Beach was the highest bidder with a mere $3,450,000. The ship began its final 39-day voyage from Southampton, England to Long Beach. Because Queen Mary was so large, she could not pass through the Panama Canal. So therefore, she had to travel around the coast of South America and Cape Horn. The Queen Mary arrived in Long Beach on December 9, 1967. Construction began on the ship to convert her from a passenger liner to a floating hotel and tourist attraction. The Queen Mary opened to the public in her present location in May of 1971. On April 15, 1993, the historical liner was added to the National Register of Historical Places. And in September of 2004, the RMS Foundation celebrated the 70th anniversary of the launch of the Queen Mary. Also in the year 2004, we celebrated the 68th anniversary of Her Majesty's maiden voyage. We're in this area that is today called Piccadilly Circus, named after the famous traffic circle in London. This was the social and the shopping area for the first class passengers, and only